This is Wisconsin Rapids Community Media TV station. We are at the Wisconsin Rapids Amateur Radio ARES Club Field Day event. This is the 23rd of June, 2018. And we have a nice sunny day, but everybody's set up inside here for now. Right now, the camera is watching Myron Ostrike, KB9STB, send message traffic into the National Traffic System to report their presence here at the field day. We'll be talking to Myron in just a minute or two, and right now we're just going to do a little panning and let you see who's all here. Let's listen to Myron here for sending traffic for a few minutes.
19, does that coincide with yours?
Roger, checking 19.
Okay, and that same text that will be going to the section emergency coordinator, and that'll be number 2.
Roger.
Okay, we got Myron, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, thanks a lot for the traffic. You're free to go about whatever you're up to, and I think enjoy field day. Good luck to you guys out there, and have fun. W9DQA at 9DC.
Hey, thank you much, Jimmy. You're welcome to stop out later if you wish to. We'll be here all night. W9DQA.
Okay, as soon as we get done with this special session, we're going to fire our portable field day session here, or I should say station, and then we're going to play on that until close to 5 o'clock, then we'll be back on at 5 from the home station to try to pick up any more messages. Appreciate the traffic. Myron, again, good luck to your group, W9DQA. With KB9STB at the microphone, this is November 9, Charlie. 73.
73, Jim. Good luck to your contest. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? I'll form
We're here talking to Myron Ostrike, KB9STB, and going to discuss field day a little bit. Myron, can you tell us, please, who sponsors this event?
The event on the national level is sponsored by the American Radio Relay League. The event is designated as the 4th full weekend of June every year as a 24-hour preparedness exercise to get operators to think out of the box, to be able to set up and operate in times of emergency where the power grid might not necessarily be available, or if they're in a remote location and something goes haywire and they're not able to get a message out. It encourages you to set up portable antennas, different radio setups, and things like that.
What kind of planning goes into this to make sure that it all comes off the way it's supposed to be planned? And how long in advance are you making plans for field day?
Normally, planning starts for us in about February. We start the ball rolling with figuring out our locations, who we want to talk to about it, who we want to get the message out to. And as time progresses, we start, kind of that cursory announcement saying that field day is coming, get ready for it. And then come March, April, we start to plan a little further into it, figure out how many operators we'll have on the air, what groups are coming. For instance, this year in Wisconsin Rapids, we invited the folks in the Marshfield Area Amateur Radio Society to come down, and Portage County Aries is invited over, Adams County is invited up. And with that, there's a little more coordination involved to make sure that everybody that needs to know to come is given the message. The closer it gets, we invite dignitaries and send out more press releases to get more information out, and then we finalize the last stuff in the last couple of weeks before the event.
Have you ever had one of these where plans you have made went sour, very sour, when just before the event started?
Absolutely, and that's kind of the beauty of doing an exercise like this. Whenever you plan for an event, you plan for whatever could go wrong goes wrong.
Murphy's Law.
And
I know the man well.
yes, Murphy showed up today, and he showed up with extreme prejudice for us.
Yeah, he's interacting with your generator out there a little bit.
Yep, our generator fell into the class of does not play well with others today, so we're having some issues keeping it wanting to play nice with us. We hope we're past that, but we're not willing to bet on that yet.
Okay, can you tell me briefly, give a little overview of what ARES is and what their function is?
ARES is the abbreviation for the Amateur Radio Emergency Services. It's an organization, it's a field organization of the American Radio Relay League. Every state in the United States and every section for the American Radio Relay League has a section emergency coordinator that breaks down to different county and district emergency coordinators and their assistants and down to the everyday amateur that would help out in an emergency. In Wisconsin, we're fortunate because there's ARES, which is American Radio Relay League, and then there's RACES, which is a FEMA division. So Federal Emergency Management's involved with that. In Wisconsin, it's combined into one group. So we have ARES and RACES. And with that, we're able to not have to worry about, is this an ARES event, is this a RACES event, and all that sort of thing. It's an event. So it works out quite nicely that way. And with ARES, as it stands right now in Wisconsin, in Wood County, we just had a change in leadership in the state. We have a new section emergency coordinator that we're pretty excited about to see how he does. On the county level, we had Ken Snyder as the emergency coordinator for the last 12 or 13 years. He just retired from it this last fall. And he did an exceptional job laying a great deal of groundwork for Wood County. Now, November 1st of 2017, Mike Crone took over as the emergency coordinator for the county, and he's built on what Ken started, and we've evolved into getting more involved with knowing the hows and the whys and the nuts and the bolts of the training and doing events and getting into more of the functional things that is now being encouraged by ARRL for ARES.
Who can viewers contact if they want more information?
For more information, there's a couple different places that folks can look at. First off, on social media, Wood County ARES has a Facebook page. It's Wood County ARES Races. Mid-State Repeater Association has one too, and I believe it's Mid-State Repeater is what you look for. It's W9MRA, Mid-State Repeater Association. The Marshfield Area Amateur Radio Society has a Facebook page also. Otherwise, for email, the Mid-State Association has an email address of msra.w9mra@gmail.com.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for all the information that you've shared with us today and our viewers. And we're just going to poke around for a while and maybe get some film in, of guys operating here and doing their thing. And appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Have a seat. Thank you for stopping me. Happy to let you play radio too.
Okay, thank you. We get a little bit more in-depth look at the operations that are going on field day. We have some people here that are operating now, and we're going to have them introduce themselves if we don't disturb them too much. And then we'll take a look at the stations and the actual operation and like that. Can you...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you talk to me for a minute?
I can.
Or
I probably won't have much to say, though.
You the logger?
Am I?
What is your name?
My name's Virginia Flanagan.
Okay, Virginia. And what is your amateur radio call sign?
My call sign is KD9IFE, or Kilo Delta 9 India.
Can we look at the camera, please?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Okay, so what was that call sign again?
KD9 IFV.
IFB, okay. How long have you been a ham?
I have been a technician for about a year.
About a year.
Yep.
Well, that's good. What sparked your interest in amateur radio?
A lot of it was I grew up with CB, a lot of two-held hand walkie-talkies, things like that. So.
Oh, there's a lot of skip on CB this morning. I checked. I usually monitor channel 6.
Oh. I don't really play on it too much anymore now that I got.
The reason I monitor channel 6 is because the radio is easy to use.
Right.
And it's just sitting there, and if they're making noise on channel 6, 10 meters, it's probably open. Not always, but probably. So anyway, are you planning on operating in the field day event
I've
at all?
been trying to here and there.
Okay, that's good. What mode do you like to operate in?
I do a lot of 2 meters.
2 meter FM?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then your favorite ham band is 2 meters?
In the most part, I hit a lot of nets too, so.
Okay. No, nets is a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and I asked you your favorite mode of operation, and you said that was
My favorite mode?
2 meters.
2 meters.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for talking to us. We
thank-
appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem.
Now I'm going to see if we can get this guy here. So then what you can do is when he talks to me, you can steal the radio
Probably.
and get on there and work some contacts.
CQ Field Day, CQ Field Day. This is Whiskey 9 Delta Quebec Alpha, CQ Field Day.
Can we disturb you for a few minutes?
Absolutely.
She can steal a radio from you then and make
Take
all kinds
out.
of contacts. She'll probably have 50 in the log by the time we're finished.
That's just my luck.
Yeah, what is your name?
My name is Josh Wecker.
Josh Brecker. Okay, and what is your call sign?
I'm KC9 HKW.
All right, how long have you been a ham?
13 years.
That's a long time. I
Got it
got
right out of high school.
my first license in 1964.
You beat me by a few years.
A few years, yeah. What sparked your interest in amateur radio?
Well, growing up, my best friend's dad was a extra class. And so when I went over to play his house, I always saw his equipment and was like, what's that for? And he kind of brushed it off. He wasn't too interested. And then finally one day his dad was home when we were playing and he saw me looking at it and he said, you want to know how to work this? I said, yes. So he pulled up a chair and he sat me down and he got me on HF and that was it.
Very good. And do you do other operating than field day activities? What's one of your favorite bands?
Right now it's mostly 2 meter. I'm setting up for a new HF rig. But I do Skywarn and then Aries nets.
Okay. Before we came over here this morning, I checked the bands and 10 meters had activity. So probably 15 and 12 are good as well. Maybe even some on 6. So anyway, thank you very much for talking with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck in field day.
Right, appreciate it.
Get on there and knock them dead.
I'll try.
Yeah. You ought to be able to do, like Myron here, 60 contacts an hour. Okay, we're going to move on down the line here. Myron, we've already talked to. We'll come back and bother him some more later. Howdy. Can you spend a minute talking to me? What is your name?
Frank Worley,
And what is your call sign?
K9DNF.
Didn't you used to live over by Marshfield or Richfield or someplace over there? Yeah. I talked to you once before. It was quite a while ago, but you were like, you've got this memory that you got like 200 some country western songs and you can just rip them right off.
I did that, but I suffered a cardiac arrest. I had 500 songs I could sing from memory. They're all gone now.
Oh, wow, that's something. How long have you been a ham?
1961, I was KN9DNF.
Yeah, I was WN9QVT in 1964. That's when I got my first license. Well, thank you for talking to us. Are you going to be doing some operating here today?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay. Well, enjoy the day anyway. It's not too hot and it's nice. And
Glad to
Yeah. Well, good luck to you there, Frank. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Can we get you to talk to me for a few minutes? Yeah, what's your name?
Bob Haight,
And your call sign?
KC9YNS.
KC9YNS. Okay, what sparked your interest in amateur radio?
Actually, I've been interested in it since I was in high school, but never had an opportunity to do anything with it, and then got busy with life. And when I was with the Marshfield Fire Department, we were interested in having secondary communications.
With which fire department?
Marshfield.
Oh. I used to know a guy that I went to school with. I think he's a fireman or works for a fireman owner. His name is Tom Pankratz.
I know there's a bunch of Pankratz over Marshfield, and I know of a couple Toms, but
Oh, okay. I used to live in Marshfield too a long time ago, but so are you going to operate any field day today?
I'm going to try in a little while, but
Been trying a little while?
yeah.
Okay. Signals are pretty good today.
I'm not sure that we're being heard yet, though. That's a big problem.
Oh, you can't nobody's coming back to you?
So we're trying to find a decent signal, and we're going to...
What antenna are you using?
I'm not sure which antenna he's hooked up to. Scott, which antenna are you hooked up to? Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got a few of them different. They've been mixing and matching them, trying to see if we can get the best configuration. So.
Yeah, well, you know, like if you're using an 80-meter antenna for without a antenna tuner, it's not going to work too good on 20.
Yeah, but we do have a tuner.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you know what a pileup is. You're chasing DX and, you know, down the bottom end of 80 meters during the late night, overnight hours. There's a lot of nice DX under during the winter time, and there's about 10,000 guys calling them. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and wish you a field day.
Thank you.
So we got to get these people here yet.
Take a break for 2 seconds. Did somebody else put that on? Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody else made a contact. So you want to get
Hi, what is your name?
I'm Scott, KC9WYE.
And you're called KC9WYE?
Yes.
How long have you been a ham, Scott?
Oh, about 12 years now, I believe.
You liking it?
Oh yeah, I love it. Gives me a chance to play.
What is your favorite mode of operation?
Pretty much sideband or chatting on the repeaters. I'm starting to get more into the digital modes lately, though.
Yeah, well, one of these days digital is going to hit HF, and it's going to be a shocker, just like, in the middle 1960s, everybody had AM transmitters, you know, and then these people came out with single sideband. Oh my God. And the guys on the air, you know, used to refer to them as slot bucket and all that kind of stuff, you know. And nowadays there's a few AM signals left on the air, but not many. It's mostly single sideband, and the same thing is going to happen here when the digital revolution hits HF. You're going to see the same thing happening, and that won't be too far along.
Yeah, but I think it'd be good for everybody eventually. Might be able to get more people into it because the technology's changing, and it's good to keep on top of that. Maybe pique some interest for the younger crowd too.
Yeah, well, that's real important because younger numbers are dwindling, and that leaves more space on the bands for the rest of us, but but that's not the intent. The real intent is to, you know, and kind of invigorate the youth and get them going in the right direction. So anyway, thank you for talking to me here on field day, and go back and hit it.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, and your name?
Hi, Ann.
Ann?
My name is Ann, KC9PND. And my question is, what happens when all the cell towers and the internet towers go down?
Good point. You know, I used to work for a large public utility called Wisconsin Gas Company. And we have an office in Watoma. And I don't know if you remember or not, but about 15 years ago, a tornado went through Watoma, ripped up a bunch of stuff. That was when cell phones and that were kind of in their infancy. You know, it really wasn't as proliferate as it is now. But I was the radio guy and the telephone guy for the gas company. So about 2 o'clock in the morning, I zipped on over to Watoma, and I knew I was going into something, you know, pretty dangerous. Had my HF radio in the company truck with me and my outside hustler antennas on and all that. And by the time I got over to Watoma, I was the only one that had communications. Everything was down. The tornado ripped out a bunch of wiring and stuff. And now it's even more critical because all of these cell phone sites and a lot of the microwave circuit relays for the telephone companies and and the other data carriers and stuff, they're all digital and they're all time based. And you've got these GPS satellites up there floating around. If even one of them goes down, okay. So now, about a month ago, we had this crackpot over there from North Korea that was threatening to set off a nuclear device up in the atmosphere, you know, and that would have killed probably 6 to 8 cell sites. So all of these cell sites, or satellites, I should say, and so all these cell sites, they all of a sudden don't have any more timing. They've lost their timing sync. So they can fall back to a local one, you know, that's right on site there, but it might not be as accurate as what they're getting from the GPS. So then you're going to want your hams.
Absolutely.
Then you're going to want your hams.
And you want hams that are not connected to their computers.
That's right. Like me. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think you've got the idea and I've got the idea, so we'll let you get back there. This is one of those heavy-duty computers that's designed to be operated in a tank.
It's just taking the place of a piece of paper is all it's doing.
Yeah.
This is owned by the ambulance company, so they carry it in the back of the rig, so they're all ruggedized.
Yeah.
This is actually, these Panasonic Teflons are a little bit overkill for that. They've got some other ruggedized ones that do real well. So.
Okay.
But this is, yeah, you could drop this anything.
Well, did he work anybody yet?
No, he hasn't. I'm still trying to figure out who's got it.
Well, this is going to be turned into a mission now. We're going to have to go figure this out. Can you switch to a different band, like maybe 40 meters, and see if it works there? 40 was rough? No. What, did you figure out what antenna you're using on this radio?
What? Which antenna?
Which antenna did you plug into him?
Are you plugged into? Yeah. You're plugged into his double bazooka.
Well, your tuner should load that up, I would think.
If you got one plugged in there, all ready to go, you're just waiting for him to make the contact to hit enter. When he doesn't do it, it changes. All you got to do is hit escape and it clears it out.
Oh, it all of a sudden got really quiet.
He's tuning.
Uh-oh. Generator time. See?
The thing keeps kicking out? Yeah. Once in a while, it held on for a while this time.
Yeah, it was gone. It was pretty good for a while.
All of a sudden real quiet in here.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. All I can say.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
Okay. like I've talked to you yet.
No, I'm new at this, so I'm just sort of rubbernecking right now.
Oh, what's your name?
Bill Johnson.
And what's your call sign?
I'm brand new. It's out in the car. I don't know my
Oh.
call sign offhand.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have a long time to look forward to many happy contacts and all that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, well, what you should do is, when you get the radios back up again, you should sit down by one of these radios and watch these guys operate, and then
That's what I should be doing. Yeah.
and then take the microphone away from them.
Okay.
What was it that interested you in amateur radio that made you go out and get a license?
I wanted to do it. Well, I'm 61. I wanted to do it since I was.
It's okay. I know
10
hams
years
that
old.
are 90.
I wanted to do it since I was 10 years old, but at that time you had to do,
Morse code.
and that wasn't going to happen.
Oh.
So this came available, and I figured, why not? And I sat in at one of your meetings one day, and if you ever went to their club, I don't know if you remember their club or not,
I don't think so.
you have no say-so in it. I went to leave, and they said, well, you're going to be a member, and you're going to get your license. And I said, well, really? And I had no choice in the matter, so I had to get the license.
Yeah. See? That's the way it goes.
I had no choice.
I'm sure it wasn't me that told you.
Actually, it was Ann's husband. I got a kick out of that. I met him once. He goes, you're getting your license. I said, well, I don't know. He said, you're getting your license. Okay, I guess I'm getting my license.
Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy it and have a good time with it.
Well,
Thank you
fine.
for talking with
Yeah.
me. What about you?
What about me?
What's your name?
My name's Kay.
And your call sign?
My call sign is KC9YNQ. How do you like that?
That's a good call sign. How long have you been a ham?
Radio-wise,
Yeah.
I
I don't care about the other one.
let's see. Well, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now.
Is this your first field day?
Yes, it is.
Well,
I was hoping to hear more patter because I want to get used to the way people talk to each other. Because I haven't been a big talker on these things.
oh,
I wanted to get used to listening to try and pick up patter.
just to listen around then.
Well, just to listen and hear how people call and use the terminology and that kind of stuff. So when I get on there, I don't go, I don't know what I'm doing.
That can happen. That can happen. Sometimes you have a thought, and then where'd it go? Because, you hear something else or whatever. But this year, from what I can see here, field day turned out pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like other field days we've had in the past where, we had out at Midstate Tech, and we had the field day set up there. Herb, W9LWD, had it was like a 32-man Army tent that we put up and set everything in, and boy, it's raining in the middle of the night, and generators not coming on all the time, and it's too dark. Couldn't see where the generator was.
And you can't keep it in the tent with you.
Yeah, but it's all good preparation, for later on. Oh yeah, this is good. Weather-wise is no big issue. So anyway, thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
And good luck on the microphone on the air over there.
Everybody's looking for
Let them
calls,
have
huh?
it.
We still don't have any up.
Thank you. Mike Crone is setting up a field day station out back of the building here in his camper. So we're going to go out and check that out. You think he's got power?
He does. He's on a different generator.
A different generator?
Yes.
Okay.
He's on one that we know works.
Okay. Well, we're going to go out and back and check that out, and then we'll rejoin you. We're out here in Mike Crone's camper.
Hi.
And we said his name is Mike, and we don't have his call sign yet.
W9BBF.
Okay, interesting. How long have you been a ham?
Since 2015, and got my general license right away. After I got my tech, I got my general license a week later, and I've been working on that ever since. And having a good time. I like to do the digital stuff with the ham radio, but I like doing the whole gambit.
What do you mean by digital?
By digital, there's different modes that you can use with your computer program over a ham radio on the ham radio frequencies, and you can actually make contacts with other people via your computer, but over the radio.
Is this like WSJX or whatever?
Yeah, FT8 or JT65. There's a PSK31. There are different modes that when you're dealing with the digital setups on the radio, they use different tones and stuff from like sound cards to make contacts. So there's that way that they do it, and then the other way that they can do it is with shifting of the frequency. So they would call that frequency shifting, frequency key shifting, FSK, frequency shift keying. I'm sorry.
There you go.
FSK. And so then there's some that are generated by sound, some that are generated by shifting of frequency. But it all really comes back to sound.
Ham radio has always been advertised as fun for kids or, older people, and not so much a low cost, but it can be pretty costly.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what your computer there, how much horsepower you need to run these digital programs?
Well, this initially had Windows 7 on it, but there's some programs still actually can operate with Windows XP. I would say a couple of gigabyte processor would be nice, but 1.5 up is good. That would probably do it. But that should be enough. It doesn't take a lot of computing power, but more memory helps, and more modern computer. The better you can do with modernization. I would say the better you're going to have with control of stray voltages and things that would mess you up with your radio. So the more modern, the better off you are with noise control.
Where do you think this digital ham radio is going to go?
Well, I think you're never going to lose. I think the big deal is a lot of people say, well, you don't use the microphone much anymore because you're using digital. What's nice about digital is it for the use of digital, very similar to using a key and using those tones. They seem to travel better than with a voice. Voice seems to take a little more work to try to make that contact to hear the full spectrum of the voice. But voice is never going to go away. I mean, this is ham radio at its best, is talking to people talking to people. And you can do that with digital, but it's like texting or anything else that's out there electronic. You don't have your context. You can't enjoy a laugh as easy, but you have it, but it's not quite all the way there. You'll never lose the voice.
I believe, too, the voice isn't going anywhere. In 1965, I think, when I upgraded to General, everybody had a SX-111 and a Viking 2 or a Viking Valiant or a Globe King or something like that, Globe Scout. And all these sideband radios were, at the time, starting to hit the scene, and oh man, there was diehard AMers on there, they used to call them, them slop buckets, and all that.
Right.
And I think the same thing is going to happen with digital. Digital is going to kind of be rejected, and, but after a while, everybody's going to be on it, so.
Well, what's happening right now, it seems to be the big deal. The internet, cell phones. And with the cell phones, your ability to text on there, and of course you can talk. You can run around and carry it with you. But with digital, there's some things you can do. With this, I can set this up at home, have it ready to go. I can manually turn it on with my phone, and I can run some digital right over my telephone from my house.
Yeah.
Remotely. Now, it's a big setup, and frankly, I gotta say, when you're on the run, you're probably not in a big hurry to take and run your radio because you're on the go. But the thing is, with the youth today, this is the kind of stuff that gets them excited, and if that's their step in the door for ham radio, that's great, because maybe that's what it takes. As you guys know, with everything digital, speaking of digital, I'm talking like cell phones and the internet and social media. They're losing that person-to-person connection. And so maybe this takes them back in the other direction. They get hooked up here, and pretty soon they're back on a microphone and actually talking to people.
I know a guy, Mike Sager, I think is his name, N9MS.
Yeah.
He operates his radio from Arizona.
Yes, he
and
does.
the radio is in Lake Arrowhead.
Yeah.
And that's pretty neat. That's what I really find interesting.
Yeah, it is. Actually, once they got down to Arizona, we know those folks. They're actually doing field day today down in Adams County. They're at a location. They're out where there's absolutely no power lines and nothing. They're right out in the brush, and they're operating on battery and solar power down there. And they're operating with low power, which means they're at about 5 to 10 watts max. And they're making contacts that way. I think they actually won a contest a couple of years ago doing that.
Oh, well, the solar flux is, I think it was 82.1 or 82.4 today. So 5 watts ain't going to get you very far without the sun's help,
No, but yeah, you're right. With the sun's help, you'll get there. And yeah, well, who knows? You run into that. But that's the fun with field day. Is it gives you a chance to test this stuff out. You run into this, see if you can get around it. Digital sometimes will get you places when the index is bad. It'll get you places that you can't get with voice. And then some days everything's just shut down. In which case you got each other. Sit and talk smart and have a little bit of food and that kind of thing.
Well, before we came over here, which was right after lunchtime, I did hear activity on 10 meters. Not much, but at 12 o'clock yet, everybody's still tuning up their stuff and getting ready to go. They ain't talking on the radio. And there's probably some activity on 6. There was activity on 6 meters last night. So.
Yeah, 6 meters has been busy.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys working GT65 maybe, or.
GT65. Today it's hard to say. There's a new mode everybody's crazy about called FT8. And it wasn't really set up to do field day. It was set up to do just a weak signal contact, and then they found that it was a pretty robust program. Everybody's jumping on it, and they're really getting a lot of contacts, a lot of connections all over the states and all over the world. But it's a pretty hot mode right now for digital. And some guys decided, well, let's see if we can make that work. If they can send the right information on there, they can actually run quite a few contacts that way. So it might be a game changer and it might not. I'll know. I haven't been on there yet, but I'll know as soon as they get in there if they're making it work or not. But yeah, it's quite an undertaking. Part of my setup here, like you can kind of tell, I'm still in a little bit of disarray even though the event has started. We're working out. We're using this setup here in Marshfield for Wisconsin Farm Technology Days. And that's a big undertaking. Our group, Wood County Aries, has been tasked with doing the weather spotting for that event. And so part of the way that we do things is we monitor the radar, we talk to the Weather Service, we send our own people out about 25 miles if we expect anything coming in our direction, and we head this off at the pass, get an idea of what's coming in. And that way, maybe we can give some people time to clear out and get to safety. So for us, our setup here is important, making sure we've got everything just so it works. We actually had, a half an hour, 45-minute conversation on a tabletop setup here, just to have the proper setup. So, but it's what you do, so you're not out there the day of going through the same thing.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us, Mike. We really appreciate it. And we wish you good luck here in field day and making your equipment work and getting everything finely tuned, and hope you make a lot of contacts. Just remember, voice is 1, digital is 2. Anyway, thank you again for talking to us. Appreciate it.
Okay, this is just a quick example of some digital. And what it's doing is sending a series of tones over that constitute characters, and then it's decoded, and that's what you get up on the screen. And of course, it's just a video of it, but
What we're looking at here is Mike Crone's double bazooka antenna. And it's difficult because of the sun shadow. But you can see the antenna goes up, and then there's 2 dipole links off of each side of it. We're going to go inside here and around the front and take a look at some of the other antennas that their guys are using here today for this exercise. Antenna is a all-band HF dipole. It's fed with open wire line, and pretty simple and straightforward, pretty rugged. You can see he's got underneath his car, you can see there's a silver bracket underneath the tire, and what that is a base support to hold the antenna mast pipe straight up and down, so that there's minimal guying required and you don't have to worry about it falling down. You guys got a minute to talk to me?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
How long have you been a ham, John?
Originally licensed back July 14th, 1970.
1970? Okay. And did you start as a novice class, or? Yeah.
And then I let it go for a year, and then I got relicensed back in 76 with my
Yeah.
call, and I'm going to keep it.
That's good. What about you, Herb? How long have you been a ham?
Since 1951.
That's a long time.
My first call was W9LLH.
What was it?
LLH.
Oh, really?
And then we moved to South Dakota, and I was W0BFH.
Yeah, that time you had to change to the.
When I got my license, we had to draw a whole bunch of diagrams.
Oh yeah. You mean for the test?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, for what I took mine was
A coal pits oscillator.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I think there's some final amplifiers too in there.
Yeah.
Matching networks and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
So have you done any operating yet?
not yet.
No?
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'd like to eventually, but not yet.
Yeah, well.
Are they networked here, Ron, as far as,
You'd have to ask Myron.
because it's all computers, and, what if you work that call? Are they all in sync, I guess?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do not know if... We'll ask this guy here and see what he knows about it. Are these computers all networked together? Yeah. They are. So then if you can use one and so you don't work the same station on a... Yeah, they are. They're all networked together.
I mean, you see where I was coming from.
See, that'd be just perfect for you. Did you bring your code key along?
No, but I get it. It's going to be a straight key.
Couple of screwdrivers.
Yeah, exactly right, yeah. No, do you use manual or do you use straight or electronic key?
I use electronic keyer.
I like that.
I built one in 1965 and I've been using it ever since.
Really?
Yeah.
I like the old straight key.
Oh yeah.
You can give just a DQA too. That's why I like a 2-character call sign. It's so much easier.
I see you went to the open house.
Yeah.
Is this working now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We're gonna wrap up here and get going. We really appreciate the local ARES group giving us permission to come in here and take a look at what they're doing for Ham Radio Field Day.